What do you guys know about Oppenheimer?
Not a lot.
A
Only
good
what you
bit.
told me.
Only what I've told you. What was that, Steve?
I said a good bit.
Okay. Because I find Oppenheimer to be one of the most fascinating people in relation to the bomb, because he was the guy who was just obsessed with the science of it and on some level kind of cared about the war, but was more just like, I want to achieve this massive strive in, you know, physical or in the physics of science. Um, and then like he gets the bomb, he gets the crew together, they get the bomb made, and then the bomb is used, and for quite a while after the like in the months after the detonation, Oppenheimer was kind of the guy that, like, up until and for a few months after the detonation, Oppenheimer was the guy who was like, no, it has to be used, and he'd give you all these different reasons. You know, Nazi Germany's working on it. The Japanese won't surrender without a massive show of force. All these things, and you know, you can take issue or whatever with any of those arguments. The second Oppenheimer saw the footage and the human cost, he immediately reversed his position and spent the rest of his life fighting for the proliferation, fighting against the proliferation of nuclear arms. Oppenheimer was blacklisted and like lost his career because he wasn't willing to back down in the face of McCarthyism and being accused of being a communist or sympathetic to communists, because he cared that much about making sure people wouldn't be using the bomb. And I find that, like, you know, he's certainly not the hero of a story by a large stretch, but he is certainly not a black and white figure. And I feel like people would like him to be. And then there's that famous Oppenheimer quote that, you know, quote that is a quote, I have become death, the destroyer of worlds. And he's using that completely out of context, but it is still just really fascinating because he's not wrong. Steve, how about you? What do you think of Oppenheimer?
I mean, yeah, I have a very similar opinion. I think he's one of those cases of, because scientists in general, I think historically tend to be morally questionable, or at the very least have very little understanding of the ethics of what they're doing, and after they do something, they very seldom talk about it in any sort of interesting ethical term, with few exceptions here and there. I think Oppenheimer is one of the big cases where he had genuine remorse, he had genuine curiosity. Oppenheimer also studied philosophy, so like the dude kind of knew what he was talking about when he saw the destruction from the bomb. And he's got another really good quote where he talks about how the very idea of creating the bomb creates a social blindfold that makes you completely lose sight of why you were trying to invent this in the first place, which is you're trying to stop the war.